Do you want to know how to borrow against crypto so you can get instant cash without selling your crypto and then use that for further investments or to pay bills? Then this video is for you. My name is Michael, and if you watched any of my videos, you'll know that I use quite a lot of different crypto platforms. And one opportunity that many people are not really using yet or not aware of is that you can borrow against your crypto, and it can have certain advantages. And I will talk about both the disadvantages and advantages in this video and show you a strategy so you can find out if this is the right option for you. One of the advantages is it can give some tax benefits, but we'll talk more about that later. I will show exactly how to do it so you can also do it potentially without paying any interest at all. But we'll go over all that. I'll show you live how I do it. I'll show you inside my account, and then you can decide if this is the right opportunity for you or not. So let's start by the platform that I am going to show you how to borrow against your crypto assets using in this video, and this is called Nexo. And there are several platforms that offer this opportunity, but the reason I use Nexo for it is that it's just super user friendly and it's really fast, and also it gives you the opportunity in some cases to do this without paying any interest at all. But the idea behind it is the same more or less no matter what platform you use. So I'll just show you on Nexo, and then you can decide if this is the right opportunity for you or not overall, and then also decide which platform you want to use for it. Before jumping in and showing you how to borrow against your crypto and the potential advantages of it, I just want to make one thing clear, is that I'm not a financial advisor. So this is not financial advice. I'm just sharing with you what I'm doing, the strategy I'm using for this. But cryptocurrency is a volatile market, so it can be risky and you can end up losing money. Any investment you do online and in crypto is at your own risk. I just wanted to make that clear. So with that out of the way, let me now log into Nexo, and then I can show you how to do this and some of the advantages you can consider so you can find out if that's for you. But before doing that, let's just first talk a bit about security and safety on the platform, because that's of course also very important to know before you even decide if you should borrow money on a platform. One of the reasons I like Nexo is that they do a lot to improve the security, and they also have different partners to secure your assets, and they have a whole site or page on the website that explains all about the different security they have and the different partners they have for this to keep your assets safe. And that's always important to know when you use a crypto platform and also when you consider maybe borrowing. So therefore I would definitely encourage you to read up on that on the website itself. I'll leave a link below so you can join Nexo. That will, by the way, also be a way to potentially get a $25 joining bonus once you have deposited $100. So that can give some nice extra money from the start. But anyways, I would encourage you also go over the security if you're worried about that, because they have a lot of information about that. So just you can check that out. I just wanted to mention that because I know that is something we all need to consider when it comes to any platform where we have assets online. But let me now then log in and show you how to borrow against your assets on Nexo. I am now logged into Nexo, and overall it has a lot of great options, and I have a full review where I show some of the other ways and how you can easily buy, sell crypto, and some of the different methods you can use on Nexo. I'll leave a link in the top corner to the full review if you want to know more details, because in this video I will focus on borrowing against your crypto assets and how to do that. So how you would do it, or the best way to get an overview, is when you look inside, you can see there's a credit line and available credit. And the credit line is how much I overall could borrow against the portfolio I currently have. And this is the current value, and that will of course go up and down as the market go up and down. That is how it is. But with this current value, this is the credit line, what I potentially could borrow, and then the available credit is what I could borrow now, because I already haven't taken out a loan to use it for a little bit of reinvestment and to test all these functionalities and how it works, and if it's something I want to do more. Later we'll go over more about some of the advantages that this can have, for example some of the potential tax benefits. But for now, let me just first show you how to do this. And it's very easy. You just see there's something right there saying borrow from just 0%. I will talk more about also exact percentage because that depends on your membership level, but also how much you can borrow. That is a certain percentage of your portfolio, and it can depend on the exact assets you have inside your Nexo account. But they make it very easy to get an overview. And then if you want to borrow, all I would need to do is just borrow, click that one, and then you can see I can borrow for the 6.9%, their annual interest there, or I can do it for 0%. That would be a smaller amount I can borrow. And this interest rate exactly will depend on your membership level. I'll quickly go over that a little bit later also. And the reason that I can borrow less if I want to have the 0% is that this depends on what they call LTV, loan to value. And if I keep that below 20%, then with my membership, because I have the highest membership level they have, then I could borrow this much for 0% interest, which is really unique, something I have not really seen on many platforms. And even if I want to borrow more, you can see what the interest rate would be for that. So of course I would need to consider if I wanted to reinvest it, for example. And what I have done is that I've taken out something that I wanted to reinvest in another crypto strategy, and there I am definitely assuming that I will earn more than that, like the interest, so I can earn more and hopefully use that to pay back the loan. But that's just, that depends on the strategies you want to use. That's of course something you need to consider. We'll go a little bit more over these different interest rates depending on your membership level later, but I could just choose any of these. They're what I want to get paid. You see, I can get paid in Tether, USDT or USDC or bank transfer. So you can also get it out in cash to your bank account, which is really great. And if you get it, for example, in USDT or USDC, then it is instant. You get it and a few seconds later you will have it, and you can then use it. You can transfer it out of Nexo if you want to. You can use it and swap it into other cryptocurrencies, do whatever you want, or you can do a bank transfer. Of course, that will take a little bit of time depending on your bank. Overall, you can see minimum it's $50 that you can borrow. So it's quite low it starts, which is definitely also great. So you can also just start small if you just want to test it out. And if you want a bank transfer, then the minimum is $500. As of recording this video, as far as I'm aware, the maximum you can borrow is 2 million. But of course, you would also need to have a really, really big portfolio to be allowed to borrow that much, because they do what they call this like collateral, or use your assets as collateral. So that means that there's no approval process, because usually if you borrow money, for example, from your bank, there's a lot of paperwork and there's a lot of credit checks and all that. There's nothing like that, because they know you have assets in your Nexo account that you use as collateral. So as soon as you just see how much you can borrow, you just choose, for example, I want to get it in USDT, I want the maximum there. Or if I wanted it with 0% interest, you see I wanted the maximum here, and then I can just agree to the terms and withdraw, and then I would have it in my Nexo account immediately. There's no need for further approval process, anything like that, which is definitely a huge advantage. So this is how easy it is. So let's talk a bit about the potential advantages of borrowing against your assets like this, so you know what to consider. And one of the advantages is that if you are looking to reinvest some money, you want to invest more, but you have everything you have like in crypto, and you would like to invest in more crypto or other investments, whatever, then instead of selling your crypto, then you can borrow against it, so you will get more money to reinvest. And then of course the strategy I have anyways, if I do this or when I have done this, as you can see, is that my hope is that the assets I have will increase in value, or what I use this for example, for reinvesting in something, that will make more, so I can use that to pay off, and then thereby I can expand my portfolio. But of course, as mentioned already, I'm not a financial advisor. What exact strategy you want to use like that is something you need to do at your own risk, but this is just something to consider, and a method that I, for example, use myself. And that's definitely one advantage of it. You do not have to sell, because, for example, as of recording this video, the whole market is a little bit down, and if I needed more money to reinvest, or if I needed to pay some bills and I needed to take out cash, then I would have to, for example, sell some Bitcoin. But right now would maybe not be a good time. If I don't want to do that because I really believe in the long-term potential of Bitcoin, then borrowing against it instead could be a way to get the cash I need, either to pay bills or to reinvest in other things. Also, another method to use it could be that you just take a loan out in, for example, USDT and have it standing because you're waiting for the market to be ready, or there's maybe a dip in the market or something. So you have it as opportunity money, you can say, and then invest it when you need to, when the price is right. And you can just do that. For example, have it in Tether. Right now, I do not really have any. I have it standing in euros, but that doesn't really matter. The cash I have, you see, if I scroll down there, there's also the possibility of euros or USD or British pound, as you can see, and I have some standing there. And the advantage, for example, if you change it into USDT or take a loan in that, you can see you can earn up to 12% interest. So I could have it standing and earn interest by having it standing, and the interest alone would basically more or less cover what I would pay, or in some cases, in my case, I can get some of the loan to even 0%, and I could still at the same time earn interest by having it standing. So that could also just be a way to earn a little bit extra while waiting for finding the right opportunity. That's another method you can consider. But let's also talk a bit about the potential tax benefits, because that's something that you definitely should consider before selling your crypto assets. Again, I just want to make clear, I'm also not a tax advisor, and the exact tax rules will vary a lot from country to country. But in some countries, from what I have been able to find out, it can have some tax benefits, because if you sell your crypto or your Bitcoin or whatever crypto it is, then in many countries that is a taxable event. So then you would have to pay taxes of the potential profits, and you will also not have your assets anymore. But if you borrow against it, then in some countries, then there is no taxes that you have to pay for that amount that you borrow. So that's some way to get cash instead of selling crypto, and where you also do not really need to pay taxes of it. But I want to make that clear. That will depend on your country. You need to look into the exact tax laws in your country, but it's just something to be aware of, because many people are not aware that it might be an opportunity in their country. So definitely consider that also if you want to do this, and look into that so you're aware if that gives some potential benefits also. But let's now also just quickly talk a bit about the exact interest rate you need to pay if you decide to borrow against your assets on Nexo. And that will depend on your membership level, or loyalty level as they call it. And you see the different membership levels, and which level you have will depend on the percentage of your portfolio you have in Nexo's own token. Right now I have above 10%, and that is why I have the platinum membership, and that gives different advantages. I also talk about in the full review. I have a link for in the top corner, as already mentioned. But if we just now focus on the borrow benefits and not all the other benefits, where you also get higher interest for just having your earnings standing, and more free withdrawals and more opportunities or more benefits. Then for the borrow benefits is that you see if you have a base membership, then it's 13.9%. Still, if you use it correctly, what you borrow, then that's really not a problem, because then you can easily make that back, or if the assets grow. But it's something to consider. But you see, in my case, it would be these 6.9%, which is really not a lot. But even better if I just keep this LTV below the required amount, these 20% as it is right now. They have like a full tutorial and FAQ section about the LTV, so you can exactly read what that means. But then I can get it for 0%. So that's definitely an advantage of having this platinum membership. If it's just for borrowing, also it has other benefits also. But 0%, that means that I can borrow a certain amount, as I showed you before. I can reinvest that. I do not have to pay any interest. When I then have made that money back, I can just pay it back here, and then I basically borrowed money for free. So that's something to consider. The LTV option is not available for the base and the silver membership currently as of recording this video, but you can check that out. It's just something to consider. If you do not want the Nexo token, still you can borrow the exact same way. You will just pay a bit higher interest. So that's just something you need to consider when you decide what to use the assets you get or the cash you get when you borrow against your cryptos for. As you can see, it's very easy to borrow against your crypto, and it definitely can have some potential benefits. Personally, I prefer this instead of selling my crypto, because the crypto I have is something that I really believe in the long-term potential of, and I would be sad if I had to sell Bitcoin, for example, to pay some bills or to reinvest in other things. Then I would prefer doing this, and then that can definitely be a great way to expand your portfolio, or to just take out some money to pay other bills, because they do bank transfer as well, as you can see. But exactly what strategy is the best for you, that depends on your personal needs. And as mentioned, I'm not a tax advisor. I am not a financial advisor. So you need to do this at your own risk. I just wanted to share how I'm using it and show how easy it is, so you can see that if it's something you have considered, then you definitely do not need to worry about the technicalities of it. And if you have a certain membership level, you can even do it without paying any interest at all. And I hope this video helped you. And if you want to join Nexo, I will leave a link below that will also give you a $25 joining bonus once you have just deposited a minimum of $100. So you can use that to get a small bonus from the start. But no matter what, I hope the video helped you and gave you some great inspiration. And if it did, then make sure to hit the like button, and also don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you won't miss out next time I see a video with tips and tricks about different ways to make some extra money on the side online.